Hi, everybody. I'm Joe Oriema here on YesNetwork.com, and we're doing the Michael K. Q&A today. Michael, how are you doing?
Great, can't wait.
All right. Well, the fans are ready, and they've asked you some good questions today. So this comes from Tim in New York City. Dear Mr. K, coming into the season, a lot of experts were down on Chien-Ming Wang given his 2007 postseason performances. With his quick start this year, do you think he has a shot to win 20 games and possibly a Cy Young?
I think he does have a shot. I don't think there's any question whatsoever that Chien-Ming Wang could win big in the regular season. The last two seasons, he's won 38 games, 19 games a year, and that's the most of any major league pitcher. He's close to over 40 games over 500 for his career. I don't think there's any question that he is an outstanding pitcher. The question is he a number one type starter? And I think that was what came into question because he had over a 19 ERA against the Indians. But this doesn't surprise me at all. And he's also pitching a little bit differently, because he's incorporating a slider and a changeup. So if that turbo sinker isn't going down, he's not as susceptible as he was in that postseason game against the Indians.
Well, this comes from me now. Did they work with him down at spring training to give him, more of an array of pitches, just not the sinker?
Well, the sinker was always so effective that they would just have him throw it 95% of the time. He actually threw a slider when they first signed him, but he hurt his shoulder and had shoulder surgery in 2001. They kind of put that on the shelf. Now they think he's okay. He's always been able to throw a slider, and he's had a pretty good changeup, but the sinker was so effective that they just went with that all the time. But they want him to go with those other pitches even when the sinker is effective, so that if the sinker's not there, that he doesn't have to go to a pitch that he hasn't been working on.
Well, this one comes from Jim Busso in Orange City, Florida. And he says that why won't Giambi just hit the ball down the third base line when the shift is on? He's not Ted Williams. We understand that. But why can't they work on that in spring training to get him to go to the opposite side of the field?
I don't know, Jim. I just don't know. I actually asked Joe Girardi this on the Joe Girardi show. He said that they have worked on it and that he will ask Jason to do it if it's a big game down the stretch and they need a base runner. He doesn't want to take him out of his comfort level in terms of swinging the bat now, but it is something that could be incorporated. I don't know if they'll have him bunt, but they certainly could have him hit the ball like kind of a swing down on the ball and hit it to the left side, which would be a double. So I think that you should look for that because it could happen.
All right. Well, this one comes from Emily in Blue Point, New York, and she says, "Hi, Michael. Jason Giambi has looked great on defense so far this year. Are you surprised that he's improved so much, even with just working in spring training?"
Hi, Emily. I don't know if he's been great. All due respect, I don't know if he's been great. He's outstanding at scooping balls out of the dirt. That's always been his strength. He came up in Oakland, and if you didn't scoop the ball out of the dirt, it was 3 bases because of all the foul territory. He's been okay. He's still somewhat reluctant to throw the ball to second base. He's kind of botched some balls. I think he's been better than I thought he was going to be. But the big question with Jason Giambi has been his health. If he can stay healthy, he'll play a decent first base. He's not going to win a Gold Glove. He's not a really good first baseman. He's not a good first baseman. But if he could be average and hit 35 home runs and drive in 100 runs, the Yankees will take that exchange.
All right. Well, this one comes from Dan. And Dan says, "I've been a longtime Yankee fan, and I'm concerned with the starting pitching. Do you share those same thoughts? And where do you think the Yankees will finish in the AL East with their pitching?"
Well, I think that the question with the Yankee pitching is their youngsters. I think Chien-Ming Wang's going to do what Chien-Ming Wang does, and I think that Andy Pettit's going to win his 15 to 17 games, which is fine for a number 2 starter. Mike Mussina, Mike Mussina could give them 12 wins out of the number 5 spot in the rotation. They'll take that, and I think the way he's been pitching early, you could look at that. The big question happens to be with the youth. Phil Hughes and Ian Kennedy, are they going to be consistent enough to give the Yankees a chance to win in 70% of their starts? Doesn't mean they have to win 70%, but will they have a chance to win? That's the question. Where do I think they're going to finish in the East? I think that they're actually going to finish first or take the wild card. I actually see the Yankees going to the World Series because I think everybody worries about their own problems and magnifies them. But if you take a look at the Yankees bullpen, which everybody worries about, and then you take a look at the Red Sox bullpen, the Red Sox have just as many problems. If you look at the Yankee rotation and then you look at the Red Sox rotation, the Red Sox have just as many problems. They have youth, Clay Buchholz, John Lester. So no one's that far ahead of the Yankees, and the Yankees have an unbelievable offense, which right now looks like it might even be better than Detroit.
All right, this one actually comes from Arturo Theron from Puerto Rico. A bit of a fun question here. What happened to the squirrel, the infamous squirrel from last year?
I shot it, I filleted it, and then I actually had it for dinner. I don't know what happened to the squirrel. I think it was up on the pole, And it came down when the fans were gone and just scooted out into the Bronx night. I did not eat it, so please, PETA, do not send me any kind of literature. I did not eat the squirrel or kill the squirrel. I love the squirrel.
No, actually, it was filleted, I believe.
Filleted, yeah.
Yeah, so one last question for you. This comes from J.P. Kelly in Atlanta, Georgia. He talks about Wilson Betterman here, and he says, do you think the Yankees should designate Betterman for assignment and keep Gonzalez because he's been a solid backup utility infielder?
No, absolutely not, because a guy like Gonzalez you want to play every day, and once Derek Jeter is back in the lineup, which he is right now, and Robinson Cano is healthy, which he is, those two guys are going to play every game anyway, and Alberto Gonzalez is not even going to come in for defense for either of them, so it doesn't make it a point to keep him. I don't understand. The only reason you bring Alberto Gonzalez up if he's going to play a long stretch of time. Wilson Betterman could play short. He could play second in short bursts, and the Yankees knew in spring training if any of their middle infielders went down for a long period of time, that's when Gonzalez would come up. They feel comfortable with Betterman 1 or 2 games at a time, spelling a guy for 1 game of rest, going up as a pinch hitter from the left side. I would never designate a player like Wilson Betterman. He's got too much talent. He's too good a hitter from the left side. You just don't give those players away. Alberto Gonzalez has options. You could send him down, and you call him up when you need him.
All right. As always, thank you very much, Michael, for your time and answering some of the fans' questions.
Well, thank you, Joe.
That's what I'm here for. I'm Joe Oriema saying keep coming back to YesNetwork.com for exclusive Yankee features all season. We'll see you next time.